If you want to grow past your target market, you must learn to market to a new target.
Hey guys, my name is Clint Sparks. Everybody having a good time here? Doesn't sound like a good time. Is everybody having a good time here? Let's go, guys. We're in Cyprus. Get familiar. We're having a good time. So I'm here to talk about what it just said on the screen. A lot of businesses are here, obviously, trying to grow. There's a lot of casino games here. A lot of companies that have products that they're trying to build an audience, get more depositors, get more of an audience, get people to use their products, right? So I've built multiple multi-million-dollar brands throughout my life, and before I get into giving you some of the game of what I've learned, I always find it important to know who the person is talking to you to see if it matters what they have to say, because I might not have accomplished very much, and what I have to say might not be that important. So I'm a Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum producer, songwriter, and DJ. I've sold over 75 million records. I worked with everybody from Pitbull to Akon to Ludacris to Snoop Dogg to Beyonce, Lady Gaga, so on and so forth. I signed and discovered an artist named DJ Snake, who's one of the biggest DJs in the world. I was P. Diddy's tour DJ. I helped Eminem launch his Shade 45 channel and a whole bunch of companies since then. So what I've learned throughout the process of building all these companies is a lot of things, but I'm here to talk about one thing in particular, which is for people that have companies here that are having a tough time building, finding, and growing their own audience. Because what I realize in every industry, and it applies across the board, is everybody's chasing somebody else's audience. Everybody thinks, well, that's where, let's just use, because we're iGambing, this is where all the people that gamble are. Let's target market them. Let's get lookalike audiences and just spend all of our marketing dollars on the audience that already exists, that more than likely already has a platform that they're using, that they're a favorite of, that they've already deposited their money in, or that they're comfortable using. What most people do not do is go and try to build an audience or find their own audience outside of the market. So let me give you an example of something that happened to me. I was DJing in Las Vegas, and there was a really big whale behind me in the VIP section, popping bottles, everything that you would expect in a club. He walks up to me, and he starts talking to me for a second, and then we got to get to know each other. He invites me to Miami that week. I happen to have a couple of days off. I fly to Miami. As I'm there in his mansion on the water, we walk out to the front, and we open his garage, and there's like one of 4 Porsches in the world in his garage. So he goes, hey, take it for a spin. I was like, I'm not driving that thing. Nope. And he was like, no, go ahead, take it for a spin. I go, no, I'm not risking driving your Porsche. And I was like, however, if you come with me, I will take a ride in your Porsche. So we take a ride in his Porsche. Now, this guy just bought all of the racing circuits short of the Indy 500. The reason he bought them all is because he was going to make them all one big racing circuit to compete against the Indy 500. So that's why he flew me down there. He was like, I'm going to launch a new racing circuit, and I need you to help me break it into the market and make it cool and bring an audience. So we get in this Porsche, and we're driving down Collins in Miami. Anybody that knows Miami at all, Collins is a very busy street. It's hard to drive down that street. There's a lot of people walking on the street. You got to drive like 1 mile an hour. So as we're driving, a whole bunch of people are seeing this car. They mean, oh man, nice car, man. Like, yo, look at that car. That's all, every 10 feet, somebody was admiring the car that we were in. So as we're driving, I say, what do you notice as we're driving down the street? And he says, everybody here loves the car, right? I go, yeah, exactly. Now, when everybody there means everybody there was African American. Right? So I say, okay, yeah, they all like the car. Guess what? All rap videos have cars in them. Guess what? There's car shows. Exhibit has Pimp My Ride on MTV. This culture enjoys cars, but they never got an invite to the party, which is car racing. Because in the States, everybody looks at Indy 500 or car racing as kind of a redneck thing. They don't look at it as cool or cultural or something that they should care about. And that's what most companies don't do. They go after what they think the audience that already exists cares about them. There's so many people, for instance, let's just use gambling again, that might not be interested in your product because they don't gamble. Well, your job is to add the word yet at the end of that sentence. Because it is up to you to, one, invite them to the party, and then two, indoctrinate them into something in a way that would interest them. Now, in order to do that, you have to understand the audience, and you have to learn how to relate. You have to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to understand what matters to them. Most people try to force at you what matters to them. This is my company. Let me tell you how great we are. Let me tell you why you need to do this. Let me tell you why we're the best in the business. That's all everybody does. Look how great we are. Look how great we are. You need to get familiar with this. You should be a part of this because we're great, right? But to really be great is to understand how to relate and communicate to another audience that doesn't understand what you're doing. I go to conferences all around the world, and everybody's in an echo chamber. Whether it's crypto, whether it's gaming, whether it's music, whatever it is, everybody talks about the great product that they have, and they don't understand why everybody else doesn't see how great this is, right? The reason is because you're expecting them to understand or learn you instead of you caring enough to learn them. When you learn them, then you know what they need to feel, what they care about, what they're talking about, what they drive, what they drink, what they wear, how they talk, where they live. That's caring, and the basis to grow anything is to actually give a shit, and not just about transaction, not just about being the best company, not about making money all day, every day. It's about caring about the people, genuinely, and that even means internally, your employees, your partners, your investors, everybody, because we can tell, we can smell, we know when a company is genuine and sincere and when they're real. That's why you'll see so many companies like, say, Tom Shoes. They really care because they're giving back, and they're talking to us and talking to people that care. So I'm going to support them. Most people just care about transactional relationships. And that's what kills so many. Almost every company that I've been a part of, the people up top, all they cared about was transaction, and all of those companies didn't work. Because at the end of the day, they just kept chasing the money. If you just chase money all the time, that's what you'll be doing forever. But if you do what I just said, and you care about the audience, you listen to them, you want to know how they feel, you relate to them, guess what? When you do that, and people know and it's real, the money will chase you. It happens all the time. I don't understand how leaders of companies don't understand this fundamental, easy to digest rule that works every time. You can go down the path of every business that actually cared and see how they flourished. And then you can watch 99% of companies that don't work because they don't. Because they're over here just trying to be a He-Man and make all the money in the world and think they're going to make all the money. So, when I'm going to say it again, if you want to grow past your target market, you must learn how to market to a new target. And people don't take the time to do that. And you can't get mad when people don't listen when you talk. Instead, you must learn to talk when people are listening, where they're listening, how they're listening, why they're listening. When you actually take the time to get inside someone's mind and understand what service you can provide, what value you can provide, what are the things that you can do for them that they didn't even know they needed or that they didn't even know they were going to enjoy. I mean, there's a rule of thumb. So I did radio most of my career. I built my career building radio. I've been on 22 markets around the world and all that stuff. And there's a rule of thumb in radio. The listener is stupid. They like what we tell them to like. That's why you'll hear the same song over and over and over again on radio, because they're forcing you to like it. How many songs do you know the words and you can't stand the song? because they're doing their job, because they know how to infiltrate you psychologically. So when you put all these things together, I know some of the things I say may sound a little touchy-feely. That's just who I am. I understand how to make businesses work because I win, repeat, win, repeat, win, repeat, win, repeat. It's a formula, and it works. It's not my formula. It's just the formula that works. And it starts with caring or giving a shit, which I've seen you enjoyed me say that. So if you want, I don't care what kind of business you have. I know we're at a gaming online casino conference, but it doesn't matter, any business. It all comes down to actually really caring about building new customers and not chasing somebody else's audience. Finding your own audience. It exists. Your audience exists. The skill really comes into how do I go indoctrinate and how do I go draft and recruit new people? How do I come up with clever marketing? How do I do things that make them interested in something that they otherwise would have never been interested in and currently aren't doing anything like that? You already know it's easy to find the people that already gamble. Most people in the world, when you think of gambling, you literally put the word degenerate next to it. So gambling already sounds ugly to most average people. So if you want to now get them to start gambling, which you think about, that guy probably spends all his money on gambling, what a degenerate. Or you always imagine like no wife wants their husband going to the casino and spending all their money. You have to change the narrative. You have to make it different. You have to market it fun, entertaining. You have to get rid of the ugliness or the fear of, I'm going to become addicted because I just started gambling. Like people feel those things. So you have to understand that that's what people feel. And when you understand that, then you know how to walk them in. Then you know how to talk and relate and connect with them in a way that it's not that. But people can tell when you're just trying to come up with a gimmick or a marketing ploy to trick them to do so. So another company, speaking of gaming, is a company that I was at called FaZe Clan. I don't know if anybody knows like gaming organizations in here, but took that from 0 to $1 billion IPO. How did we do that? Well, when I first joined the company, it was just a bunch of popular kids online for doing trick shooting and gaming. They built a big audience that just enjoyed watching them do dumb shit online, right? There was no business model. There was no revenue drivers. None of that existed. If it was up to them, they would just keep doing the same thing and making more videos, interacting with their audience. How do you grow that from what they've already built and now start touching and building tentacles to go to different industries and sectors to now understand this fascinating opportunity over here that they wouldn't understand? If you ask the average person about gaming or esports, most people don't even know what esports is. And they definitely don't know the difference between esports and gaming. If I bring up, when I first started going to tell like Diddy and Jay-Z and Snoop and all these people about gaming, they were like, that e-gaming thing? Like nobody even knows, they don't understand it. They don't understand a bunch of things. One, it's a career opportunity for kids. No one talks about that. All you hear is parents like, get off the games, you're wasting your brain. Why don't you get out and do something different than wasting your time playing games all day? Nobody's talking to them about this is like putting your kid in football or soccer or piano or karate. It's another business opportunity. It's another career choice that you could put your kids in. But no one's doing that. No one understands all the career. No one understands all the money that can be made. No one understands how to get involved with it. So, to my point of understanding how to connect and relate to new audiences, what did I do? I went from where there was just gaming, where primarily you would think, when you think of a gamer, you think of some like nerd kid in his room just gaming all day. You don't like say, that kid's part of the cool crowd, right? It just doesn't happen. I mean, they're becoming cool, and in some crowds they're cool, but to the actual cool crowd, they're like, I don't know what those guys do, right? So you have to understand all of those things, right? You have to understand what people think of them, what they think about themselves, what they're trying to be, what they care about. But then you also have to understand this audience, what they think about them, if they even know that they exist. What do they need? Psychologically, what are they on? Where are they trying to go? What are they trying to connect to? You need to understand all these things so you can start moving the pieces together and making it all happen. And that all comes back to understanding an audience. And if you want to grow past your target market, you have to market to a new target. But in order to do that, you have to understand how to talk to a new target. You have to care about a new target. You got to do research to this new target market that you're trying to go after. It's the only way that you'll ever grow. Because trust me, there's not 20 million more gamblers that are just sitting around like, gee, I wish I knew where I could gamble online. No one's doing that. If that's what they want to do, they're going to find where to do it. But when you're building a company and you want to find how to grow that, then you have to care about finding a new audience to market your product to. So with FaZe Clan, I brought everybody from Offset to Pitbull to Sway Lee to Yo Gotti to DJ Paul to Ray J to all these fascinating people that are part of culture that would have never been a part of gaming, ever. And when I brought Offset from Migos, he became 40% of all the media for the entire year for that company. And it went down in history like Travis Scott in Fortnite or Lil Nas X in Roblox. Offset joining FaZe Clan was that big. And then we did things like bring the NFL and Champion Clothing and Beats by Dre and all of these other cultural brands that would have never thought about gaming. And gaming would have never thought about them. However, all the gamers listen to rap. They think rappers are cool. All the rappers know that there's money to be made in gaming. They just don't know how to make it or how to connect with the gamers. It's just like the age-old, every rapper wants to be an NBA player and every basketball player or football player wants to be a rapper, but they don't know how to do it. So you as a company, when you're trying to bring these worlds together and you're trying to grow a really robust audience that's now loyal to what you're doing and believes you and will stay next to you and have an allegiance to you, it all starts with giving a shit about people. That's the only way anything will work. Business, personal relationships, nothing works if you don't actually give a shit about people and care. So, I will end with, if you want to grow past your target market, you must learn how to market to a new target with all the ways that I just said. And if you want to hear more, I talk about this stuff all the time on my Instagram, @ClintonSparks. Follow me @ClintonSparks. I left 2 minutes in case somebody had questions.
We can have questions. Anyone?
My name is Clinton Sparks, everybody. Thank you for your time.
No? Does anybody have any questions? Oh, Shirley has a question.
She has a question for everybody.
Why do you think that not enough people care to create their own race?
Greed. Greed is usually the reason. It's usually greed and ego. Every leadership of every company I ever see, it's usually greed. They just want to make as much money as possible. And ego is, I want to be the powerful person in charge. So it doesn't matter. Every company has people that care. There's always people that are like below the leadership that have the great ideas, that actually care, that have connections. Like, we should do this. This would be great if we do this. And then these people are up here like, if it's not making us money, I don't care. Or they don't listen to these people. So I think the primary reason that most companies fail and most leaders do a bad job is because of ego and greed.